Welcome to Late Breakfast. I'm Taurian B, and Regg is not here. Well, this week we are going to talk about the Queen Bee, Beyoncé, her new visual film, Black is King. It's a polarizing film. Many people have a lot of things to say about it, a lot of good, and then there's some bad. Let's talk about the backlash first. Let's get that out the way. A lot of people felt that the symbolism was demonic. A lot of people said, oh, this is her letting us know she's in the Illuminati, and they said that there are correlations to the Baphomet. And then also, prior to it officially coming out, she got a lot of backlash from, let's say, some African natives, because they felt that that she's only showing images like how white people back in the 50s showed Tarzan, where it's just showing zebras and gorillas, and she's the only rich person walking around like a mystical figure being hailed in Africa. And then she also got backlash from No Name, J. Cole's best friend. And she also said, I think it's weird that she basically said that, this capitalist is going to Africa exploiting this country. And then also the point was made that Beyoncé went on a world tour. She's been on 3 world tours, and none of those stops were in Africa. She toured every white country you can think of and didn't stop in Africa. She actually did a whole separate tour in Europe. So a lot of people had, their think pieces and things to say. They saw the horns. A lot of people don't know that in Africa, like, there are certain tribes that, have certain likenesses, and people say that that's what white people do. They make us think that certain images that are our own are evil or dark. So, it was just Beyoncé giving us an education and telling us our own stories. So, people just didn't like it. But, Mama Tina came and to her daughter's defense, as she should, and said, no, like, Beyoncé actually did a lot of research. She's worked with people from Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa, and pretty much just wanted to study everything from their dances to their religion, to their heritage, to their clothing, to rituals. And she incorporated all of that into Black is King and just wanted to just show a really beautiful image. Also, a lot of people felt that, she's getting too political. People just want her to shut up and dance. But, we'll tell a Black woman that. So I just wanted to have the conversation about this wonderful film. I watched it last night. I really enjoyed it. She has a lot of examples that where people have done this. Michael Jackson did it where he did his films. Prince did Purple Rain. He made his his into a film. Cameron had Killer Season. Jay-Z had Streets is Watching, and then he did with the 444 series. Like, we've had artists do this and pretty much visualize what their music was trying to portray. And Beyoncé kind of like hit the nail on the head, especially in the times that we're in right now. It was needed. I have some of the imagery playing from the background. Please don't see me. I don't have the music playing, so it should be good. But yeah, like, it was great. What do you guys think about Black is King?
I loved it. I don't care. No, this is the thing, right? Now, we've been through so much this year. I think Beyoncé kind of capitalizes off of timing, and her timing is always impeccable. I remember when they did this project, because friends of ours were, there, but now obviously they couldn't say nothing, but now it makes sense. I think Beyonce's never gonna win. No matter what she does, she can never win. There's always gonna be people that are mad, always gonna be people that are happy, people that write think pieces, people that think not enough. We haven't had a representation of like Black African culture in this mass way for a slew of generations to see at one time, probably since coming to America. I think they did a wonderful job on highlighting the culture of the country, as well as making it look fashion forward, infusing different colors. The aesthetics were insane. The visuals, the background, highlighting just the essence and overall natural beauty of the country. Like, no one does that in a way that's entertaining, right? And she put a great soundtrack to the forefront of this film. And, she was a part of The Lion King. Who's to say she wasn't inspired and wasn't trying to give back and kind of show reverence to this place that is so important that we don't even get talked about enough, because they try to erase Africa from our culture. All we know is slaves, but we have kings and queens there. And these little kids that are running around thinking in Africa, a lot of these little young niggas have no idea what Africa really has in store, what it looks like over there, where we come from, the wealth that we come from. All they know is slave America, bam, today. You know what I'm saying? And there's not a way to kind of educate them on like, no, we were wealthy. We are still wealthy. And a lot of these little girls and boys need representation of beauty. I know everybody has seen that little TikTok of the little black girl who like looks at herself while this lady's doing her hair and like she thinks she's ugly and starts crying, saying she's ugly. Like that little girl needs these visuals of all these multicolored black people of all different types of skin tones to realize that this is beauty, this is creativity, this is art. We are art. It's necessary. Whether you like who she is or not, no one else is doing it. Would you rather have Ben Affleck go over there and do a Black is King? Like what are we picking and choosing this battle over? Like, what is the battle over? I don't understand it. It's artistic expression. At the end of the day, Beyonce is an entertainer. She is here to entertain. This is her job. If she's not doing this, what do we have her here for? What are we supporting her for? She's basically Robin Hood. Yeah, I want her to tour Europe with all these white countries, get their monies for shows, and then go back and donate money to Africa and highlight a project celebrating African people. Yes, 100%. Go to who can afford to pay for these concerts, ball out, max out the budget. You know how many people Beyonce gives money to? There are so many charities her and Jay give money to that they don't talk about, that people will never know. But in this age, if you don't show you working, then people don't think you're really working. Black is King is amazing. It's a legendary timepiece. I love it.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I've only seen the previews. I've seen the screenshots. I've seen like everything on the timeline, and I will see it tonight. It's art house. A lot of people don't understand art house, and that's okay because their minds aren't that evolved yet. Give them a few decades. Just give them a few. You know, they don't understand art. They don't understand pushing things to the light. And if you aren't doing anything for your community, then you should not speak on the behalf of your community. Because if you don't know something, if you don't know anything about what's going on, then you should shut up. If you don't want to show light to it, then you should shut up. Okay, yeah, Beyonce didn't ever toured in Africa. Okay, she's giving to Africa. What have you given to Africa? I'm not talking about what white people say, oh, Africa the country. No, I'm talking about Africa the continent. I'm talking about all the countries inside of Africa. I can't believe I am defending a celebrity when I believe, like, you know, the definition of celebrity should die, but just give her a break. She is not the president of the world. Leave her.
Yes, she is.
She's an artist. Leave her alone. Let her be her. That's it. What she's doing for the continent of Africa is amazing, and I think everybody should just be down with it. I mean, for years, not even years, for centuries, Africa has been the beaten up continent. This is true. This is a fact. This is nothing you can debate about it. And it's all because of white people. So now you're telling me that you are a part of white supremacy because you don't want a Black American to help and to push light towards to push the better light towards Africa? Are you serious? You're siding. What they're telling me is they're siding with white Europeans and other people to say, oh, let's keep stealing gold from Africa, precious diamonds from Africa. Let's keep enslaving Africans. No, she's pushing it towards a better light. And I say, my last word, either you get down with writing for the continent of Africa, or you can go where you came from and support white supremacy in your silence.
Okay, Jumar, Dr. Jumar. Dr.
Go off, Julius. Go off. I'm here for it.
My brother. Hey, man, listen. All right. Some of this shit is people who need to just shut the fuck up. Like a lot of it is just a bunch of people on both sides. Sides riding too hard for Beyonce, and the other side riding against. Like, some of y'all just need to shut the fuck up. And then I think the other half of it is nobody's above reproach, right? And if somebody brings up something against a celebrity who I hold in a high esteem, whether it be Beyonce or Jay-Z, and it's valid, I gotta hear it, right? So if the people of Africa are saying, hey, you love us so much, but you haven't toured here, that's something that needs to be addressed. I don't care that, you were setting, I don't care what's going on behind the scenes. If these people are saying you are using this image of us, and you are using this image of our homeland to push something that's going to line your pockets, but you haven't toured here, I think those people need to be heard, and I think that needs to be addressed. But on the other side, I'm not even saying on the other side, because that would mean it's in juxtaposition. That's that on that point. There's also the point of Beyonce and Jay-Z have done a lot for Black Americans. And a lot of it goes unnoticed, and most of it gets critiqued. So, I mean, they're going to have to live with that forever because it's lonely at the top. This is just, there's never going to be a time where Beyonce or Jay-Z does something and it doesn't get critiqued. No matter how forward-facingly positive it is, somebody's going to find something negative with it. And I think they have come to grips with that. Or maybe they haven't, right? Like even Jay-Z, I would say showed a human moment last year during the backlash of him joining the NFL board, and he said, maybe we're past the kneeling. Do I think that comment was fully thought out? No, but I think after you can only take but so much criticism from people who don't know what the fuck is going on before you respond. I think Beyonce just takes a much more silent, stoic route. So, we probably won't hear those kind of things from her. But I gotta assume that she's tired of these niggas talking too. So I think a lot of it is back to what Julia said. What have you done? Right? We love pointing the finger and forget about the four pointing back at us. What have you done? What have you done for your community? No name. You're talking about a capitalist going over there. Why haven't you gone over there? Whatever you are. What is she up to? I don't know who that. I don't know what she identifies as a political regime, but you ain't over there doing shit.
And you ain't make our Sally Mae payments go away. So shut the fuck up.
So what are you doing here? I think Beyonce delivered an A1 piece of content. I loved every second of it. My kids loved it. Everybody I've been around loved it. And I think it's something on this last point, I think people need to internally look at, I think people need to take an internal look and inquiry, an audit of themselves. When you can watch something that uplifts so many people that look like you and identify with you, you can look at something that uplifts them and find a reason to tear it down. I think you need to take a look at yourself.
It's crazy to me how people underestimate the amount of due diligence that Beyonce does with her artwork. To Julius's point, I wish Outside was open because I could have saw this at the Brooklyn Museum for First Saturday. This would be something that you would see in an art kind of style where different paintings and a video would be playing in the background. It would be a whole montage of you sitting and watching her. I think that she does do the work. I saw plenty of people on my timeline that were a part of this project through Instagram and through Twitter, and they were extremely proud. And I think that for someone to say that she didn't do the work and she didn't do the research is preposterous to me. At least we watched the last piece of art that she gave us and the amount of work that she did in it, just going through HBCUs. So you're going to tell me that she took on a whole task of going to Africa and not doing that amount of research and that much curation for that piece of art? Now, I'll be the first one to say I'm not a huge Beyonce fan. Like,
Let's start it right here.
I respect her performance, but I'm not going to take away from her work ethic and what she does for her community, countlessly, all the time. I think that's really disingenuous for people to even be on social media even saying. Like, that goes without question. You can respect somebody about their art, but their work ethic and what they do for their community, that's crazy.
Well, I think people want people to be perfectionists and be perfect, but then they don't like them because it kind of makes them look themselves. Beyonce is ridiculously rich, so people will never feel that things are authentic from her because, I mean, once you get to that position, you kind of have to move like that. It's very rare to see people move in like a free moving manner with things that aren't calculated and aren't planned years in advance, I might say. And I just think that a lot of people see it as fake or phony or trying to capitalize on the moment. But I do think that this project was near and dear to her heart, because think about it, like The Lion King came out a year ago, and then she brought this project out and spent all this time. Beyonce is rich. Beyonce can sit at home in LA and not do anything, not have to give anything back to people, but she is. So I just think that, she's trying to just give us something that people don't have. So I don't know.
Beyonce's in a position that we, as Black people, we say we root for each other to be in. We always want to root for somebody to be in a position to represent us and support us and uplift us and be our voice, because we never ever get that person that's there. We finally get somebody that's there that now has the ear of everybody, gay, straight, white, Black, binary, non-binary, whatever your preference is. She has the ears of everyone. We have somebody that can actually speak in cross-cultural bounds, and she does it, and does what? She doesn't go to China and try to act like she's celebrating, anyone else's culture. She's celebrating her own culture, her own people, her mother, her father. She names where they're from countless times. You can even see it reflected in Solange's work. Solange, I think, was even a big part, and is a big part of Beyonce's creative team and all that she's researched and dealt with. We have people that can speak for us, and every time they say something in their realm of entertainment, again, entertainers are here to entertain us. They're not our political activists. We have to get out of that realm, and I think young people have blurred that line, and this generation have lost sight of that. We're supposed to have people and politicians to look at. The people in the ballot boxes that y'all ignore and say you're not gonna fucking vote for, those are the people who are supposed to change shit for us, for real. These celebrities have limited power. The power that they do have is in their platform and their broadcast, and they use it. And they say what they can. At the end of the day, stop looking for these celebrities to be your God. They're not your God. They're not. They're here for 4 to 5 minutes of entertainment value. You should get inspired, take it away, and move on. Stop celebrating these people. Yes, they have a platform. They should use it responsibly, but these are not your gods. They're not your parents. They're not your saviors. I thought 2020 would teach us to recognize that these people are fucking human. They're flawed humans. Anybody walking this earth is. There's so much stake put into celebrity. They don't owe us that much. And if you don't like them, don't support them. It's real simple. Keep it moving. You don't have to buy shit, stream shit, nothing.
Nobody had a problem when Nicki Minaj was her Juku Barbie and all that shit.
Where was the think piece?
There was no think pieces. There was no think pieces about her coming out kimonos. Motherfuckers was bobs. Motherfuckers was Kens. Nobody said nothing about that. The minute Beyonce go home,
a Black woman goes back to Africa.
I just think that,
and they're never. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, they're never uptight about how Africa is portrayed in white films. Why is Africa always in a jungle type area, or we see the poor Black Africans? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Nobody said nobody vilified the World Cup, how they left Nigeria when they did the World Cup there either. This happens countless amount of times where people go to Africa and completely expunge it of its resources, get what they need out of it, and they leave. And you have someone who really took the time to curate and show the art and the history of Africa in that piece, and you take the time out to completely tear it down. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And piggybacking off of Chloe's point and your point as well, Rob, I feel like, from the outside looking in, to me, it was one of the most, unstereotypical portrayals of African culture that I've seen in a minute, because I feel like that's so rare when something is so authentically shown criticisms aside and all, and also
and regal looking.
yeah, absolutely. Like there was just so much power to it, and also musically, I feel like it was so great to see all these Afrobeat artists get such a bigger platform because they're working with Beyonce. So that for me was really cool to see. Like as a music fan.
I truly think it's I think a lot of people just, it's kind of like not cool to not like Beyonce, but some people just feel like there's a phoniness to it, like there's not a realism, and I think that's because she doesn't give many interviews, she doesn't talk. But what people have to understand, she's a child star, just like with Michael Jackson. You're trained how to speak, you're trained how to move, you're trained how to do things. You listen to your team, you have, you're a brand now. You're like, she's the Gap, she's Ralph Lauren. So that's uniform.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, but also I feel like artists the caliber of Beyonce are so rare nowadays. As far as an artist that is kind of just doesn't really say much, that just talks through their art, and whenever they do say something, whenever they do use their voice, it's a big deal. I feel like an artist of that caliber is so rare in this generation, whereas years ago you had, like a Sade, a Michael Jackson, or a Prince, the list goes on. So I feel like it's,
No, I mean, I think, James, you're absolutely right. I think to piggyback off that, I think Beyonce, we grew up with Beyonce. We've heard Beyonce talk since she was 15 years old. Like, we've seen her in interviews. They used to do, we're talking about back in the day when they used to do like on set on the video, like Access Granted, Lifetime used to have, their intimate portrait. Like, we know their story, we know who she is. And like, as a woman, she's grown and evolved, and she's learned that decade and era of when an artist came on a media platform to speak is different from, because now people have instant access to you via Instagram and social media and Snapchat. Like, they're hearing celebrities talk all the time, and it's a lot of celebrities are talking and not saying anything. And Beyonce, also a woman that's protecting her peace and her sanity, having grown up 30 years and 20 years in the business. At this point in time, it's more so about her mental health, because you say the wrong thing and they're going to just dissect you for weeks. She posts a picture and they dissect her and critique her for weeks and months on end. At this point, the Beyonce's biggest flex has always been, for the last maybe like 10, 12 years, is her not saying shit and literally talking about all the shit that we've talked about her about in her song. Just one line addressing something in the song, and it stings, and it's a zinger, and it's her final word. It's boom, I've talked about it. Don't ask me nothing about it again. We are privileged to have somebody who understands how to protect their peace as an entertainer, because so many have gone crazy, killed themselves. We've lost them. They've gone off the deep end. Beyonce has withstood the test of time, along with her husband, through all the shit that they've gone through. They've earned the right to just be respected for their craft. And because they're two people that respect their craft so much, they don't give us hot shit. They don't give us hot garbage. They give us what we need when the time that we need it, in the increments of time that we need it to digest it. And I appreciate them for that. I wish more artists would get back to just sitting back and maybe taking 3 or 4 years to make an album. Take 4 or 5 years to make a body of work. We've been talking about this. Like it's just such a hot pocket industry right now. And Beyonce is giving us timeless pieces in like the last 5-6 years alone. Timeless shit. Relevant as fuck, but timeless. Mm-hmm. There's a way to do it, and that only comes with being seasoned and as dedicated and diligent as you are. And I think that's overlooked by the lesser person who thinks that this shit is easy because they have a camera phone.
Yeah. Talking about the 90-minute visuals, I really, really enjoyed seeing them show that Black people can be luxurious and have nice things in Africa. Because, I mean, nobody gets mad at like white people for being rich and luxurious. And yes, there's realism that there are poor people in the world and people that don't have, but Jay-Z and Beyonce are rich, so that is their reality, right? So I enjoy seeing them be rich, because it makes me want to aspire to be rich as well and have things and be able to go back to Africa and live a lavish life and hopefully inspire people and do things. I think they just bring a beauty to Africa. I think they expose all parts of Africa that, you know, we would want to see. It definitely made me want to research and go visit Africa. Besides Regg, who's from Cameroon, whenever he comes back, he shows me pictures, and I'm like, yo, I want to go with you one year. So seeing this kind of like put the battery in my back more, because before that, you know, you see Egypt, but in Egypt, the movies that they show, everyone is white, but we clearly know that everyone in Egypt is white. When we see anything, you know, I think like, you know, when we would see like the commercials and shit like that saying send a penny a day and shit, we would see kids walking around with flies on them and things. And then like, you know, we see a lot of coverage of South Africa, but I don't even think like they, like when Oprah would go open schools and stuff, or be with Nelson Mandela when he was alive. But we don't see a lot of like positive imagery from Africa at all. We saw the movie Blood Diamonds, and we just saw people in caves mining coal, mining things, and I'm just like, yo, I want to see something, you know, more rich, more beautiful. That, because I know that Africa has those parts. I'm not saying that I don't want to see the bad shit, but I want to see more glamorous things about Africa, because every other country you see that. If you look at Asia, Russia, Europe, Australia, like you see all these beautiful things, and we know that Africa has that. So with this movie, they did that, and I was glad to see it. And that's why Mood is like my favorite part of it, because it's just like, I'm like, yo, this is dope, and this is what it's supposed to be, like showing what beauty is. And then all of the tribal clothes that they wore and everything that they had on, I really, really liked it. I just think that some people are just especially
Mouse, mute your
non-black.
shit. You're gonna be fidgeting right next to the fucking mic.
I also think that a lot of I don't want to say white people only, but like a lot of non-black people are alarmed by some of the imagery that they see, because, you know, when we see evil things is usually the color black, and, you know, it has horns. So seeing a lot of people in this movie wear horns, you be actually painted on, like put like grease on them to make them to like really, really, really like put emphasis on being on blackness and everything like that. I think people just took that the wrong way. But what I took from this film is that Africa is beautiful, and they were just trying to shine a light on that. And right now we definitely need to feel that way, because in America we're not made to feel like we're great or we're good. So I'm happy that we have that. That made me feel really good. I really enjoyed it.
Shine a light on them. Hey.
Yes, exactly. Shine a light on blackness, man.
No.
I just enjoyed it, and I just think, and I also, and to bring it back to No Name, I think she is an intelligent young lady, and I think that she just has a lot to say, and I think that on certain things when she speaks, she's a little bit misunderstood, because I don't think that she was directly coming at Beyonce. I think she was just posing a question, and it just came off like really shady. But she asked a good question, but I actually think like I'm pretty sure she doesn't have the ability to directly get to Beyonce, but I'm pretty sure she can speak to somebody that knows a person that knows a person that knows a person to speak to Beyonce.
No Name ain't shit but a Twitter nigga.
No, I think so. I think
Come on. I like her as a rapper. Come on.
Yeah, like she's you know what I'm saying? I
You
just think
could like her as a rapper. There's a bunch of Twitter niggas I like as rappers. Don't mean they can get in touch with Jay.
Wow.
It don't mean they can get in touch with me. What the fuck?
I'm just saying, I just think that like what she had to say, she could have went about it a lot.
So you saying, wait a minute. Oh, see, Chloe is doing something sneaky. So
I'm gonna tell you exactly what she said. She said, "We love African." She said, "I love an African aesthetic draped in capitalism. Hope we remember that the black folks on the continent whose daily lives are impacted by U.S. imagery. I hope we can uplift those who will never be able to access it. Black liberation is a global struggle." And like I believe she said this before, like when the trailers were still out, and I just think that she was like there were people from Africa that were saying like, I hope that they're not just going to show lions and zebras and gazelles, you know, or tigers. They wanted to make sure that Africa was shown as like a up and coming country, and have things like technology, you know, and not make people think that like they only have water wells.
Well, I think the problem is we keep saying I think the problem is bigger than just this panel or this group. We keep referring to Africa as a country. I think that's the problem, right?
Continent.
Even though we know it's not, even though we know it's not a country, and we know it's a continent, it so easily Freudian slips country, continent. So I think the problem begins with us, right? And I think the bigger thing at hand is you said something, and I think I seen Chloe shake her head to agree. So the problem wasn't so much what No Name said, it's the way she said it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we gave J. Cole a lot of issue when he said the same thing. He said, it's not what you said, it's the way you said it.
Mm-hmm.
So if the common denominator is No Name, and the way she doesn't say things properly, can we accurately assess that she just needs to shut the fuck up?
I don't think
I'm
she
not
needs to
saying
shut the fuck up. I'm not
No.
gonna say she needs to shut the fuck up.
No,
Because she has a right to say how she feels, and she has a right to pose a question. I think living in New York City, we've had the luxury to see the whole African diaspora really grow. Like we've seen how people in Africa have really created this culture and really vibe, and we go to everyday people and OK Africa and all of these events. So our outlook is completely different on what the rest of the world sees, to be honest. But I'm not gonna say she doesn't have the right to say anything. Like I think that was we tried that before. J. Cole tried that. You see what that went. Like she has a right to say how she feels. Like if she feels that way, I'd rather her say it to create the conversation. That way, if there is a time to learn, she can learn.
But at what point are we done just with Black people being online and creating conversations? There are so many people that come online every day just to talk and talk and talk, and they don't do shit. Like, it's cool if you want to come on here and spark conversations. That's great. But what else are you doing outside of sparking conversations? Now, I'm not with you every day. I don't know what you're doing and you're impacting your circle. But listen, if somebody has a larger platform than me and I see that they're doing something else that's positive, it's not like if Beyonce was out here saying, I hate Black people, then I could see people being mad. But like what she's doing is trying to uplift us. How do you find fault in somebody that's trying to uplift us? Whether you say it's exploitation or not, are you counting all the dollars that come in from this? You don't know how much money this person spent from their own pocket, from what was budgeted to them. You have no idea most people have no idea how budgets work, period. How many people in Beyonce and her team, and not even just her, other groups and how other media companies produce. A team of people this magnitude costs money. That's not a free project. People, 100 people, 200 people didn't just go to Africa for free. It's a budget that costs money. Like there are people that get paid and compensated equally for their parts. It's like I'm tired of people and the people that just want to kind of like rile Black people up and make them upset and make them angry all the time, and just to be upset for being upset, just to be like, well, what is this person doing? What have you done?
I think everybody has the right to speak their mind, but I think other people who have ears who have to hear that or have eyes that have to read that, I think they equally have the right to tell you to shut the fuck up. I think No Name has officially enacted our right to say shut the fuck up.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
I'm Taurian B.
First Class Reg ain't here.
First Class Reg ain't here, y'all. And we'll catch you next time on Late Breakfast. Thank you for watching.